What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I will be showing you how to make these awesome headphones in Blender, so let's get started. The first thing you need to do is open up Roblox Studios. If you do not have that downloaded, then there will be a link in the description below. So once you have that open, just go to New, All Templates and Baseplate and double click to open that up. And once that's open, just go to the Avatar tab right here, go to the Rig Builder and put in a block avatar right here, and make sure the Explorer is open by going to the View, Explore right here, and just click on that to get it open. Select it and right click and go to Export Selection and just save it somewhere. You can open it in just a second and click the little save button right here and just open up Blender. If you do not have that downloaded, then there will be a link in the description below for that too. So once you have that open, just go to a new file in General, and now we just need to import the rig that we exported just a second ago. But first just click A to select everything and X and click this little button right here. So just go to the file, import and wavefront to OBJ, and then go to wherever you saved your rig and hit import wavefront to OBJ. So now that should import our rig, and it's not centered, so that's easy to fix. So just select your rig, right click and set origin, origin to 3D cursor, and right click again and geometry to origin. The first thing that we want to do is click Shift A and add a circle. So just click on that and then click on this little button right here and change the vertice amount to 24, and then just click off of that. So just select your circle and then click R to rotate and the number is 90. Just click G to grab it and move it up here. Click S to scale and scale it to about this right here and move it over here. Okay, so now click Tab to go into edit mode while your object is selected, and then make sure you're on the vertice selection right here, and then click on this vertice right here and this vertice right here, and then click O, or you can click on this button right here to go to proportional editing. So basically what that would do is anything we have to select it will put a little circle around it, and when we click G to move things, it will like slightly move the things around them. Hopefully you can see what I mean. So I'm just going to right click to undo that and then click G and X, and then I'm just going to move this and use my scroll wheel to adjust this right here. So I'm just going to do that. So I think that looks pretty good because I just want a slight curve to the character's head, and then just click A to select all of this and F to fill it. So now just click E, and it should already be dragging along the X axis, but if not, you can just, click it. And I'm going to drag it to about here, and then we're going to make this flat by clicking S, X, and 0. So now we need to tab out of edit mode, select our character right here and click H. That will hide our character, and we can click Alt or Option H to unhide our character. So I'm just going to click H again and select our object and tab into edit mode, and then click on the little face selection right here, click I and insert it to about this much right here, and then click E and insert it to about this right here. So we're going to go over here, click on this face, and then go to front view right about here, and then we can just turn off the proportional editing. So just click G and X and drag it to about this length right here. Now we know how far we can drag this out because we just don't want it, going through this side right here. And G and X, just move that to about right there, and click Control B to bevel. And then you can use your scroll wheel to add more bevels. So click Control R to add a loop cut and add it right here and right click, and then click G and X to bring it out a little bit. So bring it out about this much, and then click Control B to bevel, and you can use a scroll wheel to decide how many bevels you want. I think that looks pretty good right there. Actually, I think it could go out a little bit more, so I'm just going to do the control select thing that we did and then just click O. So now I'm just dragging it out about this much, and I think that's looking pretty good for our headphones right there. So just tab into edit mode right here, and we are going to start working on this part right here. So click Control R to add a loop cut right here, and then just right click and click Command B, and we're going to bevel this and make sure there's 2 cuts right here. So just put it to about right here, and then we want to just select this inner circle thingy. So Control to select all this and keep controlling, and that's pretty good. So then just click S to scale in, and we want to turn off proportional editing, so S to scale in, and scale in about that much. Actually probably want to scale out a little bit more. Okay, so now we want to go to face selection mode and select this face right here, and then click Control B, and we will only want to have one bevel, and then click I, insert it a little bit, then G and X, and then bring this out just a little bit more, about right there, by clicking G. Actually, we want to just select this face right here and click S to scale it in, something to about right there. And then I'm just going to bring it out a little bit by clicking G and X, and then I'm going to click I again, and G and X again, and then that's looking pretty good for that right there. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more. Okay, so now for that, that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to make this a little smaller by clicking S and X, and we can right click and hit Shade Auto Smooth, so we can kind of see how that will look in the end. Don't worry, there's some shading tricks that we'll use to get this looking more like how we want it to. So just go back to Shade Smooth. Actually, we were Shade Flat, so right click on it and click Shade Flat, and then we want to set origin to 3D cursor, right click again, and geometry to origin. So right now we need to add the little, I'm not sure what we call it, so let's just add it. So click Shift A and add a cylinder, and just make sure it's at 24 vertices right here, because we don't need that much geometry, and then click R90, and then scale it down by clicking S, G and X, and then click SX to scale it down to about right here, and we want it to be about, so just drag yours to about right here, and I think this is pretty good. So now let's just select both of these and go into the front view and click G and just bring it right here, and then click Alt H, and that will unhide our character, and we want to bring it right here. So now we will be making the little band thingy that connects over here. Just click on this and tab into edit mode by clicking tab, and then click Control R and add a loop cut, and then just right click on that. We need to go to the top view and click G and X, and then drag it out right here is pretty good. Go to the face selection and go to the top view and select all the faces you can see from right here, and then click E and Z, and then click SZ0 to make it flat, and then go on to the face selection mode, and then just select a line of faces, X, and dissolve faces. We just don't need this much geometry for the band, so do the same thing with this over here, X to dissolve faces and Control to select. So then do that again, go to vertice mode, and we just need to dissolve the vertices, so just select a line of that and dissolve vertices, and then select another line and dissolve vertices. So now we have some clean geometry right here. Go to the face selection and click E and extrude that, and G and R, and then just make this right about here, and then E and G and R, and then just E again. So make it go to right about there, and then click on this little button right here to make it so you can select everything because it's in transparent mode. Otherwise, if you're not, then like if I tried to select all of this, it would only select this side. So go back into the transparent mode, and then click G, and then just edit it to look like you'd want it to. So now we can go to the edge selection, select this and this. Right here you can click Shift to select both things, and now we're going to bevel this to add the extra geometry, so Command B, and then we can scroll. So I'm gonna select this and Command B and bevel it to right about here, and now we just need to add the little soft part right here, and then the coloring is super easy, so don't worry about that. So select this little band thingy and tab into edit mode, and I'm actually going to select this and press G twice, so G and G, and that will slide it along its geometry. It'll slide the vertices. I want my band to be this big, so that's why I was dragging it. So I'm going to go to the face selection mode and just select all of these, and I'm just going to go out of transparency mode now and click E, and we can't really do S because that scales it out right there and it's really messy, so Command Z that. We're going to click Alt S, and that inflates the object, and then scale it up to right about here. Actually I'm gonna scale it up a little more. Now I forgot, we just need to add a little inset right here, so tab into edit mode on this, click I, and inset it about this much in G and Z, So that will make that look a lot better. We just need to add the slight bevels. Just select this line, select, then control, select, and just select all this geometry right here and click Command B and make sure there's only one cut because that will give us the look that we want. So I think that looks pretty good for that. And select this line right here and just make sure all the geometry around this is selected now, and then just click Command B and bevel it about that much. Actually, we could probably do it like this. So bevel it about that much, and I think that this part's just too thick for me, so I'm just going to SX and I'm just going to scale that in about this much. So I'm just going to G and Z and move that towards the head. I'm actually just going to go back into edit mode on this band, and then I'm just going to select this face and click O. So now I just want this to be a little more flat on the top, so that looks good for me. Now we can select both of these and Command J to join them. While it's selected, go to the modifier tab right here, add modifier, just add the mirror. Make sure the axis is the Z axis, so tab into edit mode, G and X. I need to turn this off. G and X, and just move it to right about here. And then turn clipping on, because if clipping isn't on, our objects just don't interact. But if it's on, then they will connect together, and that's what we want. So I'm just gonna bring it into, so now just click Shade Auto Smooth, and we want to be able to see a little bit more of our geometry. So I'm just gonna show you a little trick real quick. So just select and control, and then right click and hit Mark Sharp. So that will make it to where the geometry is extra sharp, so it won't like smooth it out. So I'll show you once again. So then right click and Mark Sharp. So I'm just gonna do that for a few things real quick. I'm just gonna hide this, and I want it to show for this. So Mark Sharp for that. And I also want this part to be showing, so right click and Mark Sharp. I also want this to be showing, so I'm just gonna mark all this sharp, and then we can get started on coloring. So I'm gonna click Alt H, and I'm just going to click A and drag this over just a little bit right here. And now we just need to go into the UV editing. Make sure not to apply your modifier or get rid of it or anything yet. So now I'm just going to open a color palette. This is a very popular color palette. There will be a link in the description below for this. So now we just need to select a little bit of geometry. It's super easy to color, so I'm gonna select all of this and then shift this right here. Alright guys, so once you have all of this geometry selected using the tricks that we learned, like maybe you could turn this on, and that's how I selected that. And I also use the control a lot because it would have been a pain selecting all of this if I didn't have that. I'm not saying it wasn't entirely, but you know, that's how modeling is. Go to the UV editing tab and click U, project from view, and then while your cursor is on the left side, A, S, and 0, and then just click G and bring it over to like right here, and then click Control I to select everything else in your mesh, and then click U, project from view, A, S, and 0, and then just click G, and I want this to be white. With this selected, go to the material tab and make sure you're tabbed out of edit mode. So just click new, and don't worry about any of this right here except for the base color. So click on this little button right here and check the image texture. So click on this little drop down and then click our palette right here. So now if we go into the material view, we should see our headphones colored right here, and so I'm just gonna fix that by clicking Control I, and I'm just gonna find a color that works for me. So I think this color looks pretty good. A little bit of the geometry isn't exactly how I want it. Like I think right here I could select all of this, and I'm just going to do a little tweaking on this just to make it look better. So I'm just gonna drag that right there, and already I can see that the headphone looks better already, and I'm just going to do the same for this right here. So I just dragged this rain over a little bit, like this rain right here. I just moved that in a little bit, and now I think like this is still a little bit too thick because those are some pretty big headphones. Actually, I got tab into edit mode and then click SX. I think that's probably good. Okay, so now I'm just going to drag that in about that much. Okay guys, and I think the last thing I'm going to do is just bring this over with proportional editing on, because I just thought it looked a little weird. Just by the way, it will look better in Roblox Studios, like the shading and all that kind of stuff, because in Blender it's kind of just like it's a blank slate, so then you can do whatever you want with it. And just select both of these and Command J if they were separated. If not, you're good. So now click on it and hit File, Export, and then wavefront to OBJ, and then save it on your desktop as something like headphones, and then limit to selection only, so that will make it to where our headphones, since they are selected, they're the only thing that will be exported, so our rig will not be exported to. So click export wavefront to OBJ, and I'll see you back in Roblox Studios. Alright guys, we are back in Roblox Studios. We can import our headphones, and this is the fun part, okay? So just click on the import 3D button right here in the home tab. And then go to the headphones.obj. Okay, so now hit open. Hit import, none of these settings really matter. So just click import, and it should import, and then click close. So I think these headphones look super good. We can actually import, our avatar again to test how it looks. So just click on a block avatar, and then just drag them over here, and then you can use Roblox's basic stuff to put it on your character. I bet you're familiar with that, but if you're not, just go to the home, and then these move, scale, rotate, whatever is the only things that you'll need. And guys, that is how you make headphones. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.